There are those who have said categorically, lawyers inclusive, that the Senate has no powers to compel the president to sack the acting EFCC chair.
Well, you see, in a democracy, it's not about the issue of powers alone. And I think if we are running a government, what is important is that roles and responsibilities are shared and must be, respected, so that mutually we are able to achieve a lot. The issues are very simple. The debate is saying that, look, we pass a resolution. If certain resolutions are accepted and certain are rejected, we should have reasons why certain resolutions are rejected. But we can't continue to pass resolutions and then everything is thrown away, and then we will now continue to make those resolutions. And I think from the, those that even the clip you have shown, you've seen clearly the statement that was coming from those senators that made this point. So overall, for us, I think it is a very important thing. Most of the lawyers who come to the media to make those statements, that is their opinion, because they are not courts. They are not court of law. Well, so it remains their opinion.
Now,
I don't believe they are speaking the law, because they are not the law. They are just trying to see their own point of view. And it's only whatever the court sees finally, or whatever the law expressly said, that we will see, yes, this is a settled case.
But many will also argue the same thing applies to the Senate. The Senate is not the law court, so whatever the Senate says in some cases too may not necessarily apply.
That's why I said, within the context of what we are doing, we pass resolutions and we are doing our own, within the mandate given to us by the Constitution.
What if the presidency says...
As much as possible, you see, let's get it clear. This is a political, system. And whether we like it or not, all those offices that come to the National Assembly for confirmation are political offices.
Yeah, but there are two things, Senator. What if...
We cannot run away from the political nature of our arrangement.
Well, they may say it's political, but you have a constitutional duty to screen them. That's law. Yeah. But not screening them will be against the legal provisions that the Senate has got. That's beyond politics, isn't it?
The Senate has not said that it is not going to screen them. The Senate has not said they are not going to screen them.
Yeah, but
they said they are standing down the screening process for 2 weeks.
All right, but...
And I think there is no law anywhere that says that we must do certain things within certain times, but we are asked to do those things.
Now you also...
Here they have explicitly said we are not going to. They said because they have certain issues they want clarified, they are given 2 weeks to allow for those things to be clarified.
What if the presidency says, with due respect, senators, your resolutions have no force of law. It is within my powers to appoint and sack the EFCC chair. So I'll pass on that. I will not sack the EFCC chair. What will the Senate do?
Chambali, you are the one making this hypothesis. And I think, like I said, the president has not said this to us. And based on the resolution of the Senate, the leadership has been mandated to interface with the executive. And I think we need to give them that benefit of the doubt to do the interface.
One more thing.
How things play out. Yeah.
Upon what do the senators rely on to summon Professor Sagi? But he has said he will not appear and that, look, your powers are not at large. You can't summon me because that's not a requirement to any law to the best of their knowledge that you are making at the moment. So if it doesn't apply, would they have broken any law?
Well, I think he's missing one point. He's been appointed by Mr. President as Chairman, Presidential Advisory Committee on Anti-Corruption. And the office, that responsibility has become an office. And public fund is being used by that office. And so he is an appointee of government. And I think he's missing that particular point, that because he is spending government funds, he cannot say the National Assembly does not have the power to invite him. He is not sitting there as SAN, a legal practitioner, and that maybe he can claim that the issue has nothing to do with what they call it. But he is there as chairman of the Presidential Advisory Committee to the President on Anti-Corruption. and government funds, which is appropriated by the National Assembly, is being used by that committee. And I think it's important that, like, one of the deputy leader said at one time, when we had this face off with the LGF, that appointees of Mr. President have a moral and legal duty to help Mr. President in dousing tension and easing and making relationship with other arms of government easier. Not to continuously say things that are not too good. I am a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria by the special grace of God. I'm over 50, and he is quoted to have said we are childish and irresponsible. How does he want me to feel? How does he want me to feel?
So, Senator,
Nigerian also.
okay,
I think this is the point that we must begin to understand.
So,
there is no point in somebody at his level.
Let me just quickly raise this so you can respond to it as well. Does that then mean that, because many are of the impression that the Senate is summoning him based on him expressing his opinion about what you just said, childish and irresponsible, and not in his capacity as the president's advisor?
Well, I think this is something difficult to prove. Because it's something very difficult to prove, because having accepted to serve in that capacity, he must cede certain freedom that he will enjoy when he is not occupying such kind of office. Today, as a senator, whether I like it or not, I must guide myself to the highest ethical responsibility. That's why I took out of office. I'm expected to behave in certain form and not the other. And so anybody who occupies a leadership position, anybody who is playing a very critical responsibility, must play that responsibility with the highest sense of duty and nationalism. And I think that is what is important. And so for me, as far as I'm concerned, to say that he's making that statement in a separate capacity, no, it's not correct. He cannot divorce himself from the office that he is currently occupying.
All right, Senator. Thank you for your comments or your thoughts this morning. Senator Sabi Abdullahi, spokesperson of the Senate.